Children huddled into corners for cover. Tonight it's still not certain how many people have been injured. John Underwood, News at 10, Belfast.
Catholic Divis flats, built when the Troubles started in the late 60s, were soon to become the worst slums in Europe. At the time the British troops were welcomed to West Belfast, Seamus and Paddy were born. Nearly 20 years on, they have no hope.
What do you think should happen now?
Give us a lot of dynamite, we'll go up there.
There's no law in Iran, no law here, Tom.
No, no.
You have to pass the big
That's right.
You see that there? That's a Catholic school. They stood and let them burn it.
Tension mounts this afternoon in Divis Street again as barricades here are being erected. The people of the flat say there's going to be more trouble tonight.
I think if he does go into a coma, you would give the authorisation for him to be intravenously fed?
No, he told me not to.
Whatever the reason, it was a tragedy that he should have added his name to the list of those in Northern Ireland who have died as a result of a campaign which can contribute nothing.
There's never been peace here. The Good Friday Agreement was a false peace.
Northern Ireland, one day, might no longer be British.
Far better men than Ian Paisley have been killed. No, I do not carry a gun. I don't know who told you that.
Traditional display of paramilitary force, the men made their getaway to a house just behind the Andersonstown Road.
Have a wish granted, what would it be, do you think, in West Belfast today?
Just for everybody to be the same. No fighting. Work. Protestant Catholic just lives here, and that's all. Just a wall between them.
I'm a Christian, and a good Christian believes that we'll gain peace through reconciliation. And yes, it will come one day.
Do you think it's going to be very easy to get a job?
No.
Does your dad work?
No. Do you think?
Tensions have been simmering for weeks between the two communities, and they exploded last night.
Screaming, come on, you Fenian bee. It's like a film. There was that many of them. They were like ants just coming from everywhere.
I've spoken to PSNI senior officers tonight, and I'm satisfied, and I'm making this call. The UVF are involved in attacking the Catholic people in Georgetown tonight, and I think it's absolutely shameful in this day and age that this community has to put up with this yet again.
In excess of 10 petrol bombs coming from the grounds of St Matthew's Roman Catholic Church.
Because they were so frightened.
There was bricks being fired over that way. My windows got up. I had to get the kids out of the house because they were squealing and being sick.
Last night's violence, the most serious seen in East Belfast in years, was a throwback to dark days most people want to forget.
That window was my bedroom window, and I used to hear it every Sunday night getting hit with bricks, and that stopped now for a good 7 or 8 years, and now it's just, this is probably the worst I've ever seen it.
But fellas like with black masks, balaclavas and like black jackets and all on, the Troubles all coming and hitting you up the face again, you know.
They need representation. They need people to listen to them. And if I don't listen, also I'm not saying that I know everything and I'm Mr. Smart, but if I don't listen to concerns within my communities, things like what happened there last night are going to continue to happen. Loyalism feels outside the process, and do you know why? Because we've been pushed outside the process.
Now, the simmering unrest in Northern Ireland, 14 years after Ireland's sectarian conflict formally ended.
It's a compelling sight, the parades that wind their way down the Shankill Road.
in the heart of Belfast's Protestant community. The largest takes place tomorrow, July 12th, honouring Protestant King William's victory over his Catholic rival in 1690.
That's what I was brought up to believe in too. It's my culture.
Have to keep the culture going.
Have to keep it going. We have to keep walking. It's the Queen's Road, it's the Queen's Highway.
You have to keep it going, why?
Well, if we don't, the other side's going to take over.
Catholic Nationalist Party Sinn Féin into government in a power-sharing arrangement with its former loyalist foes. Followed later in the evening by full-scale riots of angry youth. Last year, the riots cost $2.5 million to police.
We need to understand, appreciate and respect the fact that we have cultural differences, we have historical differences and religious and political differences here in Northern Ireland.
The parade is it's triumphalism of the Protestants against the Catholic. We've tried to move on and tried to let everybody else see that it has moved on.
Across the way there's the Protestant area and this side is the Catholic side. When the 12th of July parade comes up here, it comes up past here and comes into the Catholic area and up past all these houses. All these shops have to shut. People can't go about their normal daily life.
It's brilliant.
It's brilliant.
I love it. Because, I don't know, I've been waiting for this time of the year all year to start collecting for the bonfire.
There's nothing to do about these here streets, so whenever the bonfire comes out, there's just really something to do.
Do you ever go into the Catholic neighbourhoods?
Not really, no.
How come?
Just probably end up getting hurt if you end up caught over there.
Just religion. People still feel differently here?
Yeah, conflict hasn't changed, to be honest with you.
They're orange bastards.
Over in Belfast,
they're British.
They're orange bastards?
Yeah, they're British, so they're not our people.
They're not your people.
No.
You'd like to meet some Protestants?
Oh, I would. Just
You'd like to understand them a little bit.
See, they get on like us. See, they're different.
It will take a long time, but we'll get there.
You can't flick a switch and go from darkness into light. It's a process.
Three weeks before the Drumcree Parade, Orangemen hold the mini 12th in Portadown.
Our privilege to walk any road that is in Great Britain.
Our culture and our faith.
Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, Mo Mowlam, met with the coalition as part of her attempt to reach accommodation on the parade's dispute.
As far as we're concerned, they are waving flags of victory in the faces of the nationalist community.
Because you're not in the same camp doesn't mean it's a camp or friendly.
Kiss, kiss.
These talks at Hillsborough Castle are seen as a last attempt at forging local agreement on Drumcree.
Proximity talks between the Orange Order and Garbahy Road residents are underway at Hillsborough Castle.
The parade be allowed to go ahead.
Everybody gets their Sunday dinner around about that time.
They're just their whole way of life gradually being eroded. The Orange men have given left, right and centre.
Another development today, the loyalist splinter group, the LVF, has threatened to carry out attacks in the Republic if the Drumcree parade is banned.
Sensible proposal.
Okay, it's a long day of waiting.
All eyes in Northern Ireland are focused on tomorrow's planned drum.
Oh, point the camera there, point it there. Point it there. Point it there.
I think that this is a complete betrayal by the British government. The British government has capitulated here to a threat of violence from the Unionists and the Loyalists. I would ask Bill Mullen what kind of message he has sent out to the nationalist people in 6 counties tonight.
How do you want Nationalist Ireland to respond?
I think Nationalist Ireland will respond in a dignified manner. Will respond in a more dignified manner than the RUC and the British government have behaved tonight.
In the middle of the night.
We have all been walked over, and now it's time for the Protestant people to take a stand once and for all.
Do you think that what's happening here at the minute necessarily means or absolutely means that the march is going through later today?
Are you joking, mate? A councilman, he's treated like a dog. Lawfully. This is not lawful action. This is a bloody disgrace. Look, tell them to go easy with these men here. They don't have to treat them like bloody animals.
Calm down.
All I can say is that my Lord and Master, the Lord Jesus Christ, said that those that take the sword shall perish by the sword.
Residents attended an outdoor service in one of the sealed-off estates.
This is the Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world. Happy are we who are called to his supper. Lord, I am not worthy to receive you. Say the word, and I shall be. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. No. Yeah, peace be with you. Peace be with you. God bless them.
God bless. Peace be with you.
I'm glad to see you made the right decision. The government made the right decision.
I think that's all put on for the media.
She must have promised them things and then at the last minute she's let them down. Well, posts have every right to be angry if they've been let down.
Well, they might have beat us down on their ground, but they didn't defeat us.
The silence was shattered.
Get down! Get down! Everybody get down!
People, stay down and stay calm!
Shooting with a pistol. He crouched and took aim, again shooting more of his pursuers. The panic turned to cold shock. Children were led away. And with people still unsure of whether the graveyard was safe, the injured were taken to hospital by any form of transport available.
The size of the crowd meant that there was no way that they were going to miss. They were obviously going to shoot innocent people.
The trigger was the suggestion that the Union flag, the representation of Northern Ireland's link with Britain, might not fly all day, every day from the roof of City Hall. But the Loyalist problems are much more significant than a row over a flag. Years of power sharing have led to a section of their community to fear that gradually, systematically, their power base is being undermined. Catholics doing better in the jobs market than Protestants, demographic changes in the province, the suggestion that Scotland might withdraw from the United Kingdom.
We've been clear from the very start that peaceful protests are the way to go.
And that means the violence continues as well?
Probably, aye. They're probably right. You know what I mean? Why not?
You don't have a right to violence, so do you?
You do, aye.
There's no prospect of the council kind of putting the flag back up. So how does this all end?
The flag going back up.
There is a better, positive alternative that will take us all beyond street protest to something that delivers on the political agenda.
To erode my culture and everything that I hold dear.
Jerry called for me the other week to be questioned over a Facebook comment. Like, that's a bit rich from somebody who shot a prison officer in the head.
You are in la-la land if you're suggesting that the brilliant journalists in this country, newspaper journalists, television journalists, radio journalists, whoever they are, we all try to do a balanced, decent job.
Whatever equality impact was done in the audience here, and he's looked at again.
The very fact that anyone would want to call a children's park after a terrorist sickens me to my gut.
Republicans and nationalists have looked upon British soldiers and looked upon the RUC and B specials and others in the same way as you look upon the IRA. That people died for the tricolour as well, people died for United Ireland, people give up their lives for their people as well.
95% said they didn't want to change the flag situation on Belfast City Hall. My identity and tradition would be respected. What did we get in Belfast City Council? My identity and tradition was beaten into the ground by a nationalist majority.
This does not represent the future, lads. And any of you who are thinking that you build a political career out of this, you might get a surprise at the ballot box. Now, I'd like you to join the political class and get off the streets, because there's no votes in the streets. We are making headlines around the world. There are investors leaving this place. There are people who wanted to come here and create jobs and spend money saying no. And this place belongs to everyone. I have to say this to you, lads. Respecting who you are, it belongs to everyone, that there should either be no flags, or there should be a shared flag, or there should be two flags.
People fought and died for the Union flag, and they're still fighting and dying for the Union flag. It's British. You don't see Scotland, they don't get their flag removed, do they? Dublin, you fly the tricolour in Dublin. Why? Because it's the Irish flag. That's the British flag, and you've took it down. How dare you? How dare you?
You believe in your Britishness, I believe in my Irishness. We're in a part of Ireland, or from your point, this is a contested area. I want the United Ireland. I will continue to struggle for United Ireland. That's okay. You need to try and put yourselves in the nationalist shoes, which is where is their loyalty?
I will never put myself in nationalist Republican shoes. Never.
I feel sorry for Northern Ireland. I feel sorry for all these guys here tonight who have a Protestant background, a Catholic background, whatever.
What we need to think about is having an agreed flag for Northern Ireland that the whole community can accept, and maybe we could fly that every day.
The optics of them standing in front of this community, the First and Deputy First Minister, and saying, we together will come up with a compromise on behalf of this country. Why hasn't it happened?